Hello, fellow modeling and tabletop gaming enthusiasts, and welcome back to the Mediocre Modeler Show. In this episode, we are going to do another inbox review. I know we just did one for the Kazaric Forgers from DGS Games last week, but we're going to take a look at another kit out of the box. And that kit is the Trenchworx Sd.Kfz 250. This is another kit that I picked up on the Sunday of Adepticon, so I did get a discount on it. So that $35 price tag is correct if you buy it from their website, but I did get this at a little bit of a discount. I apologize, there's a little extra background noise. I do have a fan going and my window open. It is a little warm in the Midwestern US right now. A little uncharacteristically warm for April, but that's okay. We'll take it, get things dried out. So without any further ado, let's head on down to the bench and take a look. All right, and here we have the Trenchworx Kfz 250 in the excellent Trenchworx packaging. As always, Trenchworx.com. You can see the 2015 copyright on this. When I opened this box on the drive home, I can't verify that I either lost a set of small parts or the small parts had been missing to begin with, but I did reach out to the guys from Trenchworx who graciously sent me the replacement parts. I did offer to pay for them. I thought it was only fair since I couldn't say for sure if they were included or not, but they went ahead and just sent those parts out to me. So thanks to Paul and Dave and Trenchworx for helping me out there. So let's go ahead and see what we get inside this box. All right, so there is all of our parts. Take these all out, and then we're actually going to take a look at our instructions first, so we can see we've got our KFZ 250 assembly instructions. As always, we'll start here with kind of an overview of the parts. So we do have our solid cast main body. We have our two front wheels and our track sections. We have two machine guns, gun shield, and the front axle. And then we can see where we go from there on assembly, putting our wheels onto our axle and putting those on the front, as well as then the tracks afterwards. And then finally we mount the gun shield, and then we mount our choice of machine gun. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got. So we'll go ahead. I have already opened these, so you get some parts sealed in this top bag, and then you do have some in this bottom, or excuse me, sealed in the bottom part and then in the top. So in here I've got our main body. I'll set the tracks aside for now so we can kind of take a look at the main body here. There were a number of casting supports, gates and vents in there that I've cleaned off. I've just basically clipped them off. I do need to clean those up a little bit, but so I mean, it is the underside, so not a lot of this is going to be seen. And I know they do a little preemptive work to kind of clear off some of the major casting blocks. With just a little bit of cleanup, a lot of these things are going to turn out just fine. A little bit of a mold slippage there, but again, that's just kind of the nature of resin casting, especially if you're trying to do a single hull, you know, a hull like this in a single cast. But as for the top side that you're going to see a lot, you know, very, very good detail, some minor stuff here to clean up. And again, those are not at all difficult to clean up. You know, we've got, you know, of course, our pioneering tools molded in there, some cable cutters and a shovel and a few things there. Back hatch, and then you can see our interior seating for 3 individuals. I kind of like that they just blanked out the front driver's compartment. It's not terribly important for a gaming miniature and a little bit less work to do. And this has not really been cleaned up any more than just cutting off some of these casting blocks. So it does probably need a good dip in some warm soapy water. Not terribly difficult to do. You can see a few spots like right there, and then down here where the resin is a little bit thin, even some minor holes in there. Again, just kind of a design thing, but the nice thing is those are going to be hidden by our track sections. So here I tend to put the drive sprocket at the front. We put that in there, it slots in nicely. We'll kind of take a little bit of a closer look at the individual track sections here in a little bit. You can see those fit in there quite nicely. And then those small spots that we kind of pointed out, you can see that they are not an issue once the tracks are actually on. So let's go ahead and take a look at our track sections here. You can see very well done detail there. You can see the individual teeth on all of the sprockets. Looks like there's a little bit of flash to clean up but again, not an issue at all. We do have some casting blocks on the top, a little bit of mold misalignment up there, but again, not a huge deal. That's going to be completely hidden, so we can just clean those up a little bit, and we're not going to have to worry about that whatsoever. I mean, you can't maybe clean that up just a little bit down in there with maybe a rotary tool, and everything is going to look just fine. Absolutely fine. They fit in there very well. It's just a pretty cool looking vehicle. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have for some of our small parts, or smaller parts. Okay, so obviously we've got our two wheels here. I did take these off of a casting block. They were together on a casting block. Just some minor cleanup there. You can very easily make those the bottom. And those, of course, just slot right on to the axle. We'll need a bit of glue. They don't friction fit terribly well, but that's okay. That's certainly not a problem because we'll glue it on there. Those look pretty cool on the front. And of course, our axle, oh, just sent some pieces flying. That's okay. Everything's fine. That's just how we do it at Mediocre Modeling Studios. You can see our axle just slots in there very nicely. You know, plenty of room there to hold those wheels in place. Of course, then we have our choice of machine gun. I'm certainly not an expert on German machine guns, either MG15 or MG42, MG34. I can't tell you the difference. The difference here, you can kind of see we've got some sort of oval cooling slots in the barrel sleeve there. And then, of course, we have those circular ones there. Just a little bit of cleanup and those white metal parts would be just fine. And then, of course, we have our gun shield. That would go right on the front. You can see this little dimple here is where the machine gun will actually mount. And we can have our little gun shield kind of there on that little rail. Probably have it just pointing straight forward. And of course, again, we have these wonderful 3D printed crew members. I have done a little bit of work on them just to clean up some of the really tiny printing supports. But again, very well done. Most definitely heroic scale, but they have some interesting looks on their faces. But they should print up fairly nice. And the nice thing is that they do fit inside here very well. And you just kind of slot right in there. Oopsie daisy, there we go. So just slot in right that, head's kind of popped up, which with the 250 was a normal thing. I think this guy in the back here, it looks like he might be missing part of his right leg, but that's okay. And a tiny little bubble in there, but that's not difficult to fix whatsoever. But it should be a fun little kit to paint up, especially in a three-tone camo scheme, or maybe even sort of a modified ambush scheme. I think would be kind of fun. So I would like to try and get my hands on one of the Warlord KFZ 250 kits, and then also from Rubicon models, just to kind of do a little compare and contrast between the three different ones. So that should be a good time. So there we have the Trenchworx Sd.Kfz 250 in 56th scale, or 28 millimeter. All right, folks. Well, there we have the Trenchworx Kfz 250. Hope you all enjoyed that. It looks like a pretty fun little kit. I think I'm definitely gonna have a lot of fun putting that together and painting that. So that's gonna wrap us up for this episode. Pretty short and sweet. I do have some other stuff in the works for some future content that should hopefully be enjoyable for everyone. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you feel like liking, commenting, and subscribing, feel free to go ahead and do so. That would definitely not hurt my feelings in the slightest. So until next time, folks, may your paints be thin, your brushes be pointy, and your dice hot.